Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started here. Thank you everyone for joining us. All right, great. So thank you for joining us. We're here to discuss 5 ways that organizations save thousands with Jotform Enterprise. My name is Lainey, and I'm the Director of Enterprise Marketing here at Jotform. If you're new to Jotform, welcome. Jotform offers a suite of no-code solutions designed to help organizations collect, share, and manage their data. It all starts with our incredibly powerful drag-and-drop form builder. I'm grateful to have a very special guest and 2 of my colleagues joining us today. We're delighted to have Brett Wooten, Supervisor of Business Analytics at Public Consulting Group here to share his experiences and best practices. Additionally, my colleagues Griffin and Lauren are here to answer your questions in the chat and provide any needed demonstrations. We've got a lot to pack into this webinar, which will be recorded for your future reference. So let's go ahead and get started. Here's a quick rundown of the cost-saving examples we'll be sharing today. From digitalization and consolidation to saving time and minimizing travel, you'll hear stories from a wide range of organizations and industries, including first-hand testimony from Brett. We'll also save some time at the end to share a few resources and answer your questions. Let's go ahead and dive in. Digitalization is usually the first step for organizations that adopt Jotform Enterprise. You may be surprised by the hidden costs of paper-based processes. Paper forms require more manual effort, are prone to data entry errors, and require a lot of resources to print, circulate, store, shred, and recycle. A simple shift from paper to online forms can help your organization recoup a lot of costs. Another big way Jotform Enterprise enables cost savings is through tech consolidation. Jotform Enterprise is more than just a form builder. You can use it to collect and organize data, generate reports, collect e-signatures, automate administrative processes, collect payments, build apps and online portals, share resources, and more. Organizations use it for registration and onboarding, customer relationship management, inventory management, grant proposals, waivers and contracts, inspections. The list goes on and on. In addition to saving thousands of dollars on single service providers, you remove siloed systems and processes, bringing everyone together with a central system of record. The result is better communication and collaboration across the board. Many of our customers are thrilled that e-signature collection is native to the Jotform Enterprise environment. You can collect unlimited e-signatures, each generating its own audit trail. Many e-signature solution providers have costly and complex pricing structures. Using Jotform Sign for e-signature collection is one more way organizations save thousands every year. Let's just say it. Time is money. Digitizing and automating processes with Jotform Enterprise saves organizations tremendous amounts of time, which translates to real savings. James Barker at Electrical Testing said the reduction in core costs and increased efficiency gives their organization a competitive advantage. Another significant benefit of improving organizational efficiency is that employees have more time to work on strategic projects and mission-critical tasks. This leads to increased job satisfaction and organizational success. If your organization manages remote sites, workers in the field, or serves a wide-ranging community, Jotform's mobile functionality can save your teams a great deal of time and money and enable convenient services to your customers. Many organizations take advantage of the ability to collect and send digital photos, documents, geolocation data, and more. Honor Health Network has about 10,000 home health aides who regularly use Jotform Enterprise in the field to streamline patient intake. This allows the nurses and health aides more time to focus on delivering quality care instead of traveling back and forth to physical offices. Okay, now that I've shared some ways our customers save thousands with Jotform Enterprise, I'd like to hand over the reins to Brett, Supervisor of Business Analytics at Public Consulting Group. We're incredibly grateful to have him here with us today so you can learn firsthand from one of our customers. Take it away, Brett.
Oh, Lenny, thank you so much. And it is an absolute pleasure to be here today. So really appreciate that. Um, and are you still sharing the slide deck, Lenny? There we go. Um, yeah, so I'm really happy to be here. I've worked for PCG for a little over 6 years now. And gosh, I realize now that picture is about that old as well. So I'm in desperate need of a beard trim and a haircut. But I've been with PCG for about 6 years. And even before my time with PCG, what I've been doing is dabbling in low no code. And so finding ways for low no code to help organizations maybe modernize something, streamline something, or just to help offset some of the challenges that organizations face. So really the first thing I wanted to talk to everybody about is, one of the things that I'm super excited about in software development is that low no code is gaining huge amounts of traction. And it is really changing the software landscape. So if you think about what some folks like to call disruptors, I like to call them innovations, but you will hear the term disruptor. And if you think about Uber and Lyft, when they came onto the scene, they revolutionized or disrupted the transportation industry. They changed how those services were delivered, who delivered those services, how people consumed those services. And it really was really tied to the innovation of, the mobile phone. That's really what allowed Uber and Lyft to then innovate and create their own kind of plan was, okay, there's a mobile phone device and we can put apps on it and people can reach out to us for services. So um, the same thing is happening in software development, and Jotform is definitely one of those platforms that is kind of leading the low no code charge. So with our Jotform Enterprise subscription, we are definitely taking advantage of low no code, and that is what is helping our organization save some money and also to just really make good use of the resources that we have. And one of the main things that I've found through low no code, you're going to hear a term citizen developer, is that what low no code is doing is it's changing who's doing software development, right? And so, in many ways, it's empowering people. And if you start like a jot form, maybe you're doing an event registration, maybe you're doing um, some kind of training thing or a grant program, and you may have no background in IT, but you're still able to use this platform to create a really robust solution. And it's really empowering when you're done. So, um, that's something that I really enjoy about low no code is that it is democratizing data and development. So it's changing who the folks are that's doing it. It's extending it to a wider um, variety of folks. Lenny, can you go back one time for me here? And I'm sorry here, I don't want to, but these are the three big things that low no code's doing for us. Democratization of development. So now, almost anybody in the organization can be a part of the development journey. Um, Whenever you're leveraging low no code, you're absolutely going to be able to do kind of run your application lifecycle much faster than you would with traditional programming. So still very speedy. And even though, a lot of people try to think about low no code as constrained software, there's still heavy customization available. And you can definitely see that in the forms that you can create in Jotform, the apps, the automation you can create. There is tons of customization involved. So, Laney, thank you very much. Let's hit the next one and then we'll hit one more and then get to the fun stuff and kind of look at how it all comes together. But so I do see low no code as empowering innovation, and it is, it is gaining traction, basically because of its ability to address some complex challenges. And one of the main challenges that organizations face right now is a talent shortage. There aren't as many developers out there. There's plenty of work, but there aren't enough developers to fill that need. So, low no code is an innovation to solve. That's one of the challenges that low no code is trying to solve. They know that there's a talent shortage. And so, the platform Jotform has created allows organizations to begin using more and more resources within their company. So it does empower citizen developers. It does help us to address talent shortages. We do have some security considerations, right? So like everything that I'm talking about right now, it sounds, all fun, and it is fun, but there are considerations and planning and things that people need to think about. Um, and one of the main things is data privacy. So maybe we have somebody that doesn't really have, maybe the IT discipline or background and understanding of some of the security measures you need to take for data privacy and things. Um, that you need to plan for that, and make sure that you have some folks that do understand that before you start collecting data, right? But the cool thing, again, is in many ways, Jotform kind of sets you up to meet a lot of the data privacy concerns and risks and challenges you have. But it all comes down to planning and making sure that you know what kind of data you're collecting, you've got a good plan for it, and that's well understood and known. Um, the last thing I'll say here is this stuff is just going to explode. So some of this stuff is from Gartner. Um, just the amount of forecasted money involved is pretty staggering. Gartner also kind of predicts, I believe by 2026, about 70% of deployed solutions or applications will be done in platforms like Jotform, platforms like Salesforce and stuff like that. That's um, by 2026. And so at PCG, we're trying to definitely jump onto this trend and use platforms like Jotform that really help us to empower our organization to meet some of these challenges. Um, I just got a message that my internet is a little bit unstable. I'm going to stop video for a minute so I don't get disconnected here. Yeah, can you go ahead and hit the next slide? I think it's close to the end, and then we can do some fun demo stuff.
There you go.
Um, Thank you so much. So, really, when we think about this low no code stuff, what we're trying is to say, hey, you know what? Jotform Enterprise, is going to allow us to collect data, manage data, automate some business processes. It's going to allow us to meet some requirements in a project or whatever. What we try to do is create what we call a fusion team, and you'll see this all over the place as well if you kind of look into low no code stuff. But the idea of a fusion team is to bring those pro developers, so the folks that write code, HTML, CSS, Python, anything, bring your professional developers together with your citizen developer or your low no code developer and your project manager. And with those three to collaboratively working in an agile format, that you really get a much better product. That you've got the professional developer that can offer some of that IT discipline, that can talk to folks about application lifecycle, from going from dev to testing to production, some security stuff. But your citizen developer and your project manager are going to be the ones that are close to the business. They know the language of the client that maybe you're trying to create a form for, or they know the content area of some training program that's getting ready to go. And so their skills are really going to inform the look and feel of the application. They're going to be able to do a lot of their own development of the application. And your pro developer is going to be able to focus on things that they need to focus on. Um, Adding a YouTube video to your Jotform app isn't something your pro dev needs to do. Your citizen developer can do that. But maybe you need some CSS written for a form or something to make the form do or look a certain way. That's where your pro dev can step in and really help you out. And that's why we do see Jotform as a low no code, because we can inject some code into it when and where necessary. So I think that was the last bit there that I wanted to talk about, is that low no code is absolutely shaking up the software development landscape. The advent of AI and all that stuff is also rapidly changing who and how development is done. Um, and at PCG, we're trying to take advantage of that and basically build fusion teams that can then work within a Jotform team workspace to create their solution. And I think that was the last slide before demo, wasn't it, Lane? Yeah. Gosh,
Yeah.
it's been a minute.
Yeah. No,
Awesome.
that was all great. And so far you're coming through okay. So yeah, I think you're all clear to share.
Okay, great. Well, what I'll do is go ahead and kind of share out some stuff that we have going on and try to bring home um, really what I'm talking about with low no code. And I'm going to start with kind of an area of how we bring people together. So we do leverage Jotform teams. And so what you're looking at right now is a little bit of a Hus dev area that I have. And in this dev area, I do have a Jotform. I actually have two Jotform apps. So these are two Jotform apps. And I also have a couple forms inside of my team. But what's really cool about this team is I can have, let's just look at our team members here for a second. Let me go into the settings, take you guys the real way. So inside this team, I can have different members from my organization participate and have different role-based access. So in this demo example, in this dev workspace, this team workspace, I'm a team admin. I can pretty much do anything within the workspace. Whereas one of my developers, and really, he's a Power BI developer, does a bunch of Power BI reporting and stuff. He's here as a data collaborator, because really what James is doing on this project, I'm going to do all of the app building and the form building. But James is going to run all of my data and create some really cool visualizations in Power BI. But this team there could be so many more members here. And they could have so many different roles, from data collaborators to data viewers to creators, to team admins that can do everything. So you can bring in your professional developers, your project managers, and your citizen devs, assign them the appropriate role. And once they have that, they can start to put together a solution. So what I'm going to demo here is just for like a grant program. So a lot of the stuff that we do is we work with folks that may have received some American Rescue Plan dollars. And we work with those folks so that folks can apply for those funds and things like that. So here I am in my app builder, and I have all of my drag and drop features over here. And I also have some app designer settings here. But what's important for you to know is that what I'm going to demo was all done by a citizen developer. I didn't need a web developer for this. That I was able to use basically a citizen developer, and they were inside this drag and drop interface. And they came in here and added the text that they wanted. They came in and added the buttons where they wanted the buttons, and the testimonials and the tagline or the signature line. And so that's what the project team did. And while they were doing that, it allowed others to focus on some more um, serious, not, I shouldn't say that. That's the bad word. I'm not going to say more serious stuff. I'm going to say more challenging or complex stuff, like bringing Power BI inside of the portal. So that's how we leverage the team workspace is, we find out who our team is. They all end up with a role. Once they have their roles, everybody gets a bucket of tasks. They come in and they build it out. And then we end up with a page like this. I'm showing a bunch of stuff here at the top. This is probably not how you'd really want to do your app. Um, but the reason I'm showing this is to show that you can have multiple pages. So for this grant program, I can introduce folks to what the grant program is. I can put call to action buttons on there. I can let them know about what eligibility is. Maybe there's some technology application and I can give them instructions and then a call to action after the instructions, right? FAQ pages, maybe a training page with a YouTube video embedded, right? Social media stuff. And then, the reason James was on here was so that we run our data, like we'll collect data from Jotform and integrate it with internal solutions, so SQL databases and stuff. And then once we've integrated it with SQL databases and things like that, we'll create, Power BI reporting. And this one's just a demo one, but it is a fully interactive, Power BI report that, allows users to understand what happened. But this is all generated from data that was collected through Jotform. The reporting features within Jotform are awesome as well. So you don't, I'm not saying you have to go to Power BI, right? But you can. And so that's one of the things I also wanted to just pick up on is that, not only are you able to use Jotform to, maybe modernize and, digitize your old PDFs, but you can also integrate Jotform with so many different things. So not only from Fusion teams building something together, but then integrating, your Jotform solution with the Microsoft Power Platform, DocuSign. I think there was some others that you showed, Lainey, as well. But the integration piece is where you can really build out a pretty robust solution. You can save your organization some money by basically meeting that gap that is there for software developers. But all of it comes down to planning, making sure you've got a good plan, good team, and I think that's about it, Lainey, that I can think of right there. That's kind of a soft, maybe a bad ending there to the demo, but we love it. We love the tool. We use it for many different things. This is just one example.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Brett. I didn't think that was a bad ending or at all. It was really, really, really great to see what you guys have put together and love that you have so many people working in collaboration. So thank you so much for doing that. I'm going to just go back to our resources here. All right. Okay, hopefully everyone can see that. I think we flipped over well. So yeah, as I mentioned at the top of the hour, in addition to the stories you heard today and Brett's sharing of what his team is doing, we have a number of resources to look out for you. If you want to learn more about the organizations that were mentioned, you can check out our case studies. If you're interested in more tech trends and best practices, Brett, I thought that was really great that you brought in some of those because there's definitely a lot going on with the technology landscape. It's always changing. So if you want to explore more trends and best practices, we have several white papers available for download. And if you like to learn by doing, if you're a citizen developer or if you want to dig into the CSS and see what's available, we have over 10,000 free online form templates that you can use to see how your organization might use Jotform Enterprise. And then finally, you'll always be able to refer back to this webinar recording on our YouTube channel. So be sure to subscribe and check that out. We'll have that live for you available whenever you need it. All right, and that let's go to Q&A. Lauren, do we have any outstanding questions in the chat? Any questions for either myself or for Brett?
We are good on questions.
Okay, good. And then Griffin, any questions from the world of YouTube?
No questions from the YouTube side.
Okay, all right, very good. All right, well, I want to say thank you again to Brett from Public Consulting Group. Thank you so much for joining us and sharing your stories. I also want to thank Lauren and Griffin for helping out in the chat and being in the background there. We hope you found some inspiration in today's session. If you have lingering questions, please reach out. You can contact the Jotform Enterprise sales team on our website or contact your existing Jotform customer relationship manager or customer support team. We hope you have a great rest of your week and hope to see you at an upcoming webinar. Thanks, everyone.